Hi, my name is Joseph Ahie, and I'm very proud to open the World Transformation Movement North Queensland Centre. I was born in New Zealand. I moved to Australia when I was 18 to Sydney, and lived there for 8 years doing life stuff and whatever, and then got married, got divorced, and moved up to Cairns. Travelled around Australia in a double-decker bus and, and a few things like that. And, come up to Cairns, been up in Cairns 22, 23 years now. I come across the World Transformation Movement and the book Freedom in March 2017. All my life I've been searching for stuff to try and understand what's going on in the world and all that. And then I found the website, and just from the moment that I found it, I started to understand, things started to become a lot more clearer. I could see the truths that Jeremy was bringing to the plate. And I just devoured the Freedom book on the internet, actually. I read it all on my laptop. And I could just understand a lot of it straight away. And then over time, just that got better and better, and got a lot clearer and clearer. And throughout the whole book, there's all these triggers that release you from your captive state under the duress of the human condition, and the meetings, the triggers are just like boom, boom, boom. That's why the meetings are so good, because we're all part of it, and have that understanding. Like I was reading, where I'm up to that part there in Freedom now again, which is quite a lot of confrontational stuff in that part. But it's seriously every sentence, like you can get something from, there's nothing there. If you realise there's not, it's funny how people they always say it just waffles on, but that's that real, that fully under the effect of the death effect of that. That's what they think, because what I found now after reading it the third time is that every minute sentence is a trigger, is something to help you, help you. There's not one. Jeremy hasn't written one word in there for bullshit, One word in there just to fill up space. There's no word in there that's just filling up space. Every word is there for a reason, to help us say. That's mad when you get that, when you really think that, and you find out that, you realise that he hasn't put one bloody word in there just to fill up space. it's like every word is in there for a specific reason, and it's to save the world. Man, you feel clearer. I feel clearer. That's what it is. Like it was definitely before. It was always a fog. And in actual fact, it was. You would increase that fog by continuing on with your day. Not being alien, and what you find out is being alienated from yourself. That just holds that fog in place. But what the truth does, it just starts clearing that fog. It starts, and all of a sudden it becomes you feel more clearer. You feel clarity. In what it's all about now. And what I'm all about. Why I'm here. Why I'm on this planet. Why we're all on this planet. That's one of the big things that changes. I think that's one of the big things that changes for sure. It's that fog disappearing, and understanding why all of us are here, the whole species, which is amazing. That truly is amazing when you really to get that starts sitting down on top of you. That you're part of this whole species movement that's been going on for eons. Jeremy talks about it's like millions of years. So you got to get that concept into your head too, as well. That it's not just your life. It's like millions of years it's been going on. And then once you realise that, then you think, wow, okay, wow, things start to make more sense, because when you put it into that, what you guys talk about, the macro level, it brings more clarity to yourself and to your to your life. That's what that is. That's what that freedom is. Is that in it? It's free from that loop of the human condition, you know. And that's that feeling is that freedom that you get from the understandings within it. That's the amazing thing about that. That's what the world transformation movement is, you know. It is that. It's that release and freedom from any criticism, you know. And that's really all the well, that's how I feel anyway. That's really what it's really what that's ever asked. Nothing's ever asked of you. It's only what you're asking of from yourself, really, you know. Like and you become free. You become more freer. That's that clarity, you know. That's that clarity that you get. You just become more free from that. That's what I've felt, you know. And it gets better every day. Every day it gets better. Every moment it gets better. And you just continue. What I've found is by reading the book, reading all the information, the essays that are there in the website, you know, which is all the support. Like I was saying before, there's triggers and all of that, and what it triggers is this relief, this freedom that you can get from any criticism or what they call upset state. You know, you're freeing yourself slowly more and more from that, and that's what you can get from. That's what I'm getting from it. You know, it's not. And I know everybody can get that from that. You know, because I can get it. You know, I'm just an ordinary person. Doing a lot of ordinary things, you know, and done some, you know, whatever foolish things in the past, but that's all sort of behind me now, you know, and it really you see that none of that really matters anymore, because it's just the future is what you can see, and it's all good, you know. It's because of what's the truth that I've read in these books, and that's the reason that I want to start a WTM centre here in North Queensland is because it's the right thing to do. There's nothing. I've learned just over the time that I've been looking at all this, and it's only been a couple of years, you know, that there's not much else to do but look after this information and help support it, you know, help everybody support it. Then that's doing that. I believe you'll realise that as well too once you look into it. You know, you start to realise that this is what it states that it's going to do. It will save the world. You know, it will save us all from going the wrong way, I suppose. It's continuous. There's so much in the book Freedom. The confusion just starts to peel away, you know. Like I'm finding now, like this is my third time I'm starting to read it, go through it, and taking more in. But there's triggers in that book every page, every chapter, every page, and every paragraph, and in every sentence. You know, eventually that you start realizing that there's a trigger in every sentence, and it you know, awakens you to more truth and more understanding, you know, of yourself and of the world around you and all that. But it truly is amazing. so good, you know. You can't recommend it any higher, I suppose, because you just couldn't understand. You can't understand what's going on in your own life and really around you. Yeah, I would escape from that life, you know, and through different means, you know, just and what's the word? Just try and make yourself feel good about everything, and in a way, on the outside, that make out that you know, everything was all right, everything was all good. That was one of my favourite sayings, was that everything's all good, you know, it's just all good. Deep down, you know, which you're easily able to cover it up, you know, that things weren't right, you know. And it's funny when I come across the information That's why I think it was one of the reasons why I could see it, because it was just it automatically things were just like, whoa, okay, that makes more sense than anything else you've ever heard before in my life, you know. You've heard there was lots of things, you get into a lot of things in the past, you know, going through the 90 years and stuff like that, different that's what I find out now, that's pseudo-idealistic movements and stuff like that. You get into all that, but there's nothing really sort of set solid in you until he found this information and the truth in it. They just sit solid. You can't deny it once you've heard it, once you've read it. You know, you might have found one thing that's sort of like, okay, and you just keep searching through it, but it doesn't really settle anything. Doesn't settle your mind, settle the confusion, you know, about your past, about about why things happen to you and why things are happening to everybody else, and yeah. But Jeremy, the answers that Jeremy give you just sort of they just like, okay, wow, that's right. You can't deny it, you know, like you actually can see things more now with this information. You know, you can see things better about actually how things are going on in the world and stuff like that. And you can see also how it can actually be healed, you know, where those other temporary relief things, it's just like there was no real answer. There was no real answer to how it actually could stop. Where this here, you know, and even though, you know, like it's going to take time and generations before it can be completely gone and taken, but you can just still see how that is actually going to work. Especially when it's like, you know, when everybody starts doing it within themselves, you know, and that's what this movement's about, I suppose, is to get that momentum going, you know, to where so every single person can actually get that understanding about that little bit that's in themselves, and deal with that, and once that's dealt with in themselves, well, then that's one person, and the next person, and that's the momentum we're trying to achieve with these centers, right? The thing is, it's hard to take it away from yourself, you know, because that's really what you got to do, is that take it away from yourself and realize that, you know, which is that because we've been living so long with this lack of self-worth, you know, that we nearly automatically make it about ourselves, you know, and when it actually is not about that. It's a bit like, I know what the movement is about. The movement's about helping others, you know, like really doing that, so people can, you know, get that clarity that I've been able to get, you know, and that we've all been able to get, you know, like, because that's what you want. You want people just be able to move past that inner denial, that thing that's happened, that we've taken on board, and heroically so, as they say, and as Jeremy says in the book, you know. But it's now time to be able to, because the answer's here now, we're able to let that go, and that process of letting go is a little bit confronting at times, you know. It is confronting, but it's also relieving as well, you know. And that crossover from the confrontation to the relief is the process that we're all going through right now, you know. And I understand how getting the centers together is part of that movement, you know, which is what it is, a transformation movement. Part of that to just get it moving, so it goes, washes over everybody, and everybody can become clearer and truer to themselves, truer to each other. And yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, you walk away from that relief and feeling better, and it's a real thing. It's not that fake goodness that's just you're just placing on top of yourself. It's actually goes in real deep, and that's why it does feel good. It is good because it is good. It feels so good. What you get with this is be able to, once you being able to see all that, you know, see your own egocentricity and your own upset state, you know, because that's the first step. If you can't see it, which is the whole alienation thing and being in denial of it, then you're not going to be able to deal with it if you can't see it. So, but eventually, because you can start to see it, a layer comes off and a layer comes off, and that's a little bit of confrontation is in there, but it actually becomes, you get that relief because you can start seeing, you can start working with it, you start working with it, and then you go through the stage, and what I've found now that I understand that, the next stage is the support, that you get, because that you give, as well as that you've got, you get the support, but then you got to, you actually, another stage is being there to give it fully back as much as you can, because that's what's more important even than the support that you get. Is the support that you can give, is more important, because that's how the world starts being saved, it's through all the support that we can give. And this is the good reasons that now you have this understanding. It just gives you the real reason for being alive, the real reason for working towards something, like there was nothing else really in my head that was worthwhile, like I never had goals or anything like that, and that's why I know this is the thing, and that's how come I know that what I'm doing towards it is, no matter what, it's the right thing to do. No matter what, it's the right thing to do. It's like because now, I finally know now the real reason for being here, for actually doing something, For our future's sake, my and your role is to understand this book.